Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Mohammed Kantawi and I am a university teacher. I teach in Wrangler. In today's session it will be about grammar. I shall be talking about tenses. I shall be talking about the two tenses, which are only two, not three, because some people think that there are three tenses. We have only two. We have the present and the past. The future is not a tense because it's not realized. The future is a time. And so the tense that I shall be talking about are present and past. And within tenses, as I said in the classroom, we can never think of tenses be divided from aspects. And that means we have two tenses and we have three aspects. And that means how many tenses and aspects together? It would be six. So I shall be talking about the present simple, the present continuous, and the present perfect. The past simple and the past continuous and the past perfect. So six. The first one is about the present simple. The present simple is used to speak about facts, about beliefs, about routines, about habits, about general statements that are made about people. And so let's take an example. Peter usually goes to school at 6. And so usually goes to school at 6. This is what we call generalization and a routine. For example, another example would be about the use of adverbs of frequency inside the sentence. It would say, I sometimes have coffee in the morning. I sometimes have coffee in the morning. And so the difference between, in the present simple, the difference between pronouns, because we have to pay attention that with he and she and it, we add s or es to the verb. With I and we and you and they, we don't. And so you have to be careful. There's some kind of inflection that is added to he and she and it, to the verbs which follow he and e and it and she, which is s or es, it depends. The second point would be about the facts within the present simple. We say, for example, the sun rises in the east. This is a general fact. We don't say general truth. Truth is different. A fact is scientific. It can change, it can improve. And then we have got the second one, which is the present continuous. The present continuous is used to speak about ongoing activity, an activity that is happening now in front of our eyes. I am teaching you grammar. So I am teaching you grammar is a sentence in the present continuous that indicates this activity is being done now in front of you. So ongoing activity. And sometimes the present continuous can be used to tackle or to speak about the near future. For example, Henry is visiting his uncle in the suburbs tonight. Let's repeat. Henry is visiting his uncle in the suburbs tonight. So is visiting is a present continuous, but the indication is future. And so that's it. This is about the present continuous. The words that we use with the present continuous are rare. We have now, we have at the moment, we have look, we have listen. They can be all used with the present continuous. The third point is about the present perfect. The present perfect has got to do with an action that happened in the past. The present perfect by nature is past. But to understand the present perfect, you have got to understand these three semantic ideas: completion, resulting state, and recency. Now, the first idea about the present perfect is that the action happened in the past and it has got a trace or a result in the present. And this result is either tangible, concrete, we can see it outside us, or it is only psychological. It's only in the minds of the speaker, of the speakers. And so you have to be careful. With completion, we have got some examples with the verbs which have an end point, like the verb to grow up. I say, for example, his sons have grown up and left the country. And so the verb to grow, there's a certain stage at which we have the verb to grow up there, complete. So the verb to grow up is an endpoint verb. It can be used mostly in the present perfect in this case, and it is completion. The second semantic idea about the present perfect is the resulting state. The resulting state is to focus on the result rather than the actual verb. And so if you are with your friend, you know, walking together and he accidentally stepped onto your shoe, and so what would happen to your shoe? Your shoe is going to get squashed. And so you would say to your friend, oh, you've squashed my shoe. What you did, you didn't speak about the action of your friend, which is stepping onto your shoe. You spoke about the result. And now the shoe is squashed. So you have squashed my shoe, not the present perfect. The last point is about recency. Recency has got to do with time. And it is something that is sensed or intuited by all speakers. Something that just happened or happened recently. So if I came to my house and I found someone knocking at the door who was waiting for me, I would say to him, sorry, I have been away. Certainly he would understand by I have been away recently, not last year or last month. For example, another example would be if a student came to class late and the teacher asked him why he came late, he would say, I have been ill. I couldn't wake up or I couldn't get up early. And so he would say, I have been ill. And the teacher will understand that he has been ill recently. And this is recency. Recency also can be used with hot news. Like, for example, our president has died. Our president has died. This is hot news, a news which is very interesting. And so it's hot, it should be in the present perfect. And that's recency. Then we spoke about the past simple. Now, the past simple is used to speak about an action that happened in the past. And it doesn't matter whether it took time or it didn't. What's important for us is that it happened in the past and finished in the past. And the focus is not on the activity, on the action itself. The focus is on the result. Let's take an example. Yesterday, I watched a very interesting movie or a very interesting film. Yesterday, I watched a very interesting film. So I watched is past simple. And as you can notice, the word watched or the past simple verbs, they don't have any kind of inflections with pronouns. They have the same inflection, which is ed, if it is regular. Or if it is irregular, it's a different matter. But they don't have the inflection that we have with he and she and it in the present simple. And so with all pronouns, you can use the same verb in the same form. So watched, I watched, he watched, she watched, they watched. And so what I focus on in the past simple is the result. That means it doesn't really matter to speak about the activity itself from beginning to end. What's important is the result. I watched a film yesterday. If we try to make a comparison between the past simple and the past continuous, in the past continuous, we shall be focusing on the activity itself. And so if I said to you, I was watching a film yesterday, so you're going to predict or to guess that by saying this, as if I am saying that someone has called me or someone wanted something from me at that time, and I said to him, I was watching a film or TV. And so it's not very logical for any one of us just to come to other people right from the start and say to them, I was watching a film yesterday. What's logical is to say, I watched a film yesterday. But the moment you say, I was watching a film yesterday, you are simply implying that someone needed you or called you and you couldn't pick up the phone. You couldn't answer the phone because you were watching TV or doing anything else. And that's the past continuous. And we have to understand that the difference between the past simple and the present perfect, because sometimes they can be confused. We can use the indicators, some of the indicators of the present perfect in a past simple sentence, but the opposite is untrue. We can never use an indicator of the past simple into a present perfect sentence. And that means you can't find yesterday or last year, last week, last month in a present perfect sentence, unless only in one case, if you have before them the word since. And so if we say since last year or since yesterday, we are not saying yesterday and last year, we are saying since. And so since is an indicator of the present perfect. The last one would be the past perfect. The past perfect is the easiest tense and aspect together in English. It's only when we have two actions or more that happened in the past, one before the other. And so the one that is before would take the past perfect verb. Let's take an example. Before I came to class, I had passed by the post office. Before I came to class, I had passed by the post office. So the passing by the post office antipodes comes before coming to class. And we can have it the other way around. We can start with after. After I had passed by the post office, I came to class. And so you can notice in the first clause we use the past perfect because it's the first action in reality. And in the second clause we use the past simple because it is the second action in reality or in actuality. And that's the past perfect. And by the way, in the past continuous we can have both clauses in the past continuous if they are simultaneous. For example, while I was reading a book, my sister was cleaning the room. While I was reading a book, my sister was cleaning the room. And so you can notice that both verbs are in the past continuous, which indicates that both happen simultaneously at the same time. And that's the past continuous. Those are the tenses that we spoke about last time in class: the present simple, the present continuous, and the present perfect, and the past simple, and the past continuous, and the past perfect. Thank you so much. And if you have any questions, you can ask me down. I'll answer any question you have, or any kind of debate or argument. I can manage. I can give you my own opinions about everything you say. Thank you so much, and goodbye.